So in the last video, we just read a brief overview of what this issue of Byte magazine is going to be covering. We stopped at this advertisement by Microangelo. Looks like this is a high-resolution graphics single-board computer. The Byte product review team says it stands well above other S100 graphics displays in its price and performance range. Oh, and we have a light pin interface. Oh, this looks like the company is Scion, and perhaps the product is called Microangelo. There's 32K of RAM here, isolated from the host address space. Okay, so this entire video will be covering the editorial section titled Odds and Beginnings by Chris Morgan. He is the editor-in-chief. Starting in the artificial intelligence section, he begins, "I'm particularly pleased that we are able to fit so many interesting articles about AI into this month's issue. Many of them were commissioned at last year's AAAI, which is American Association for Artificial Intelligence, meeting at Stanford. In particular, the articles Natural Language Processing, the Field in Perspective, and Knowledge-Based Expert Systems Come of Age discuss topics that, in my opinion, have not received the coverage they deserve." I think people in 2024 will say AI is receiving plenty of coverage. He goes on to say a personal computer's ability to understand at least rudimentary English will be important to the future of programming. Similarly, a computer that can give advice and act as an expert on a given topic raises some profound and difficult questions. Some of these issues have been dealt with in science fiction, and Donald Byrd explores them in Science Fiction's Intelligent Computers. I've been on the road quite a bit this spring and summer attending computer shows. As always, the West Coast Computer Fair in San Francisco was of great interest. Anyone doubting the vitality of our field need only walk into this show to be struck by the level of enthusiasm. If you want to track the progress of personal computing, go to the West Coast Computer Fair and watch the number of exhibitors expand and the wide-eyed visitors become more wide-eyed each year. The NCC, National Computer Conference, not a starship, was held in Chicago this year, and it was easily the most spectacular show yet. The star of the show, attracting a constant enthusiastic crowd, was the Xerox Star Terminal, which single-handedly advances the state-of-the-art in terminal design for the office. Many of the system's features recall those of the Smalltalk systems I saw at Xerox PARC. The Star system, which will cost $16,595 for the standard unit, treats all documents, files, etc. as concrete objects that can be manipulated by the user. Its software structure resembles a nest of boxes, each box containing more and more complex information about the workings of the system. Users need penetrate only to the box they require to do a particular job, thus avoiding information overload. Clever user interface devices abound on the Xerox Star, including a mouse. This is a mechanical box with wheels that can be rolled around on the desktop to position a cursor on the screen. I could go on at length about the features of the machine, but I must move on. It's crazy to think they were talking about artificial intelligence when they were just learning about the concept of a mouse. An excellent treatment of the Star can be found in the April 27, 1981 issue of the Seibold Report, a twice-monthly report that consistently offers the field's best coverage of word processing, computerized typesetting, and office automation. The report costs, and we're going to go to page 10, see what kind of advertisements we run into on the way. This is why let one mainframe define your limits? ? They have a complete Pascal development system. Okay, so the report costs $175 a year, and subscriptions are available by writing that address in Pennsylvania. In contrast to the Star, the recently unveiled Xerox 820 personal computer is disappointing. It's a completely designed machine, but very plain vanilla, sporting a Z80 processor, CP/M, 2 5.25-inch floppy disk drives, and no high-resolution graphics. What the 820 does do, however, is give Xerox a foot in the door of the under $3,000 market. One cannot deny the importance of the 820's ability to interface with the Ethernet system, Xerox's information network that will most likely become the standard for high-end local networks. We'll have more information about the 820 in upcoming issues. In the section called Japanese Market, he writes, Senior Editor Greg Williams and I recently spent 10 days in Japan attending the Tokyo Microcomputer Show and visiting more than 10 companies that produce or are about to produce personal computers. The level of interest in the microcomputer in Japan is astounding, and the trip was a revelation. We'll be reviewing many new Japanese machines and analyzing their effects on the American marketplace in a special issue of Byte to appear early in 1982. Watch for it. In addition, we'll present a roundup of new American hardware in the January 1982 issue. The question of the hour seems to be, are the Japanese going to dominate the American personal computer market? My immediate answer is no. It takes time to develop distribution networks and become established in this highly technical market. It's not the same as the automobile market. But if I ever had any doubts that the Japanese had entered our field in earnest, the doubts were dispelled during the trip. Yes, the Japanese face many obstacles. In order to create word processing software, they need more familiarity with our typewriter-dominated office systems and more sensitivity to the need for good software and good documentation. I have no doubt that the Japanese will surmount these obstacles, and in fact they are quietly doing just that. According to an old Japanese saying, it is the wise hawk that hides its talons. The talons are now hidden, but they will come in time. That reminds me of a Sun Tzu Art of War type quote. Okay, I'll skip the coming up section and we'll finish this video on an advertisement from Apple. Apple I/O Interfaces. SSM spells success in 3 ways. And that is SSM Microcomputer Products, Inc.